Alrighty, so new starter finally came in. I went ahead and cleaned out that cup that half the Bendix sits in, cleaned out the other half, cleaned out the area that the starter actually sits to seal up. Cleaned it out with a round brass brush. I wish I had a steel one. I do hit somewhere. Where is it? I don't know. But the new starter came in. It's an off-brand. I was not going to pay prices for a brand new one. They're just stupid expensive. Next thing I'm going to do real quick before we install this thing is clean off these gears as best as possible. They're bad. They're very, very gross. There's the new Bendix. And it does move like it's supposed to. Nice and free. Feels like it works perfect. So I'm happy. Let's just hope this thing works like it should. Like I said, it was a cheap one. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these guys cleaned off real quick. Well, now that those teeth are all cleaned out, we should be good to get this guy reinstalled. Of course, all of my grease guns are out of grease, so I'm going to open this guy up and take little bits out of it. This is a Molly fortified grease. Now, if these were brass, I probably wouldn't be putting anything in them. But seeing as how they are steel, I'm going to put a little grease in there. Because if it's brass, they're kind of self-lubricating, depending on the type of metal they're made out of. But I'm going to put a little bit of grease in there, just for good measure. Especially since they were in pretty bad shape to begin with. There we go. Feels nice and smooth. Same thing to the other side. Let's get this thing slid back together now. I don't have much hope of the electronics in that cover being okay. Not very much hope at all, because it looks like they've been sitting underwater. I'm going to guess they're going to be shot. We're going to give them a try anyways. Why? Because we can. It doesn't cost anything to give them a shot, so we will give them a shot. Alright, all those bolts are put in. Got one more on the bottom that's hard to reach. I have to use the smaller ratchet to get to it. Like I was saying a second ago, those electronics in these covers are relatively cheap, so if push comes to shove, I'll just replace them. But like I said before, if I don't have to replace them, I really don't want to. Let's get that starter installed. Alright, temperature on my phone's getting too high again. It's so annoying. I can be using my GPS and charging my phone at the same time when the temperature gets too high. Not that it really gets that hot, it's overly sensitive. So here's the original starter next to the replacement starter. Tiny little differences. Bolt ups are exactly the same though. This one I ended up getting broken loose, but as you can hear, it's a bit chewy. It's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this new guy slid in here. Alrighty, so don't forget your ground cable. It connects directly to one of the starter bolts. Got your positive. We're gonna cover that guy up here in a minute. Now the next dilemma, there is no key for this four-wheeler. I was never given one. I do have a new key switch to put in this. So we're going to get that put in. I don't know if we're going to put that in right now, but I'm going to go grab a jumper pack and jump this thing. All right, so let's put that key switch in. I don't know if I'm going to put that in right now. Let's put that in right now. So we're just going to run it in where this guy is run. There's two reds, a black and a brown. One red is a solid red. The other red has a black line on it. So we just look at the wires coming out of here. That guy is black. It's right there. Get you a little closer. Alright, so I got you digitally zoomed here. Sorry for the video quality. It depreciates when you zoom like that. Let's see. Here's a red. Right there. Which red is this? It is a red with a stripe. It's a white stripe on here, black stripe on the new one. So I'm just going to go with the black stripe. In. Make sure it's in all the way. Alright, that's 2 out of 4. Got a brown and a solid red next. Starting to run out of time a little bit here. Still trying to hustle for you. Let's see what our ignition does. Lights. Any lights? We have starter. Kind of. What's going on? Loose connection? There we go. Alright. Lights. Still no lights. I don't know if those are LEDs or what. Headlights. Not seeing any headlights either. Alright. So, we've got some crankage. Let's go ahead and hook up the spark plug cable. I'm going to feed it a little bit of carb cleaner. Wasn't expecting it to do anything, but one can hope. Let's pull that spark plug out and check it with just the spark. All right, my phone overheated. Had to stop and let it cool down. I'm gonna check for spark now. Well, we got spark. That is awesome news. Awesome news. So we're going to go ahead and stick the spark plug back in, and then we're going to probably pull part of the air box off and see what we can do. Got to keep doing short bursts of videos because my phone's overheating. All right, let's see if this thing will start. Very long time since this thing has run last. I took all of the air box out just to make it easier. The throttle seems to be sticking. It's not good. All of the throttle seems to be sticking, which is not good. See if we can get it moving. Smoke coming out of the exhaust, which is surprising because I loaded this thing up with a lot of marble. Yeah. Smell that Marvel Mixture Oil. But I don't smell any engine oil, which is good. That surprises me that it's running that good with the electronics that it has, whether it's charging or not. That's one of the next hurdles, but I'm going to call it, guys. Thankfully, the video is still going. We got it started running. I was using carb cleaner, which I try not to do anymore, to run it off of, but like I said, I loaded that cylinder up with a lot of Marvel Mystery Oil. I actually filled the cylinder up with Marvel because it originally was stuck, and if it has any stuck rings, I was hoping that Marvel would loosen them up and break them free. So that is good news, guys. Let's go ahead and get that carburetor off of there. I'm going to go take that home. I'm going to go through it at night after I get off work, and we'll come back here in the next day or two and see what we can do about get this thing running better. Alrighty, hopefully my camera doesn't overheat. I really need to fix that. Maybe something different that doesn't overheat as easily. Then I need to cover up my camera some more. I'm gonna go ahead and try gravity feeding it here. That's probably one of the worst carburetors I've seen in a while. It wasn't too much buildup, but it was mostly like just really, really, really thick, and it was everywhere. It wasn't just on the jets. It wasn't just on this or that. It was just absolutely everywhere. So, including the idle mixture jet, or mixture screw, I should say. Let's go ahead and hit that power here. Negative. For those of you who are wondering what jumper pack I'm using, I'm just using the Genius Boost Plus. It's the GB40. I wish I had a bigger one. GB40 has been working great for me. But it'd be nice to have like a GB70, I think. So next size up. So we're going to go ahead and open the fuel up here. We do have fuel flow. Turn the ignition on. It's on run. Put the fuel cap back on here. There's some Marvel Mystery Oil in the carburetor as well. Just because I can. This tank is off that engine stand I have for my Volkswagen engines to be able to run them off of the car. Just on this stand itself. Oh. Or spilling fuel everywhere, so that's wonderful. is overheating. It's running. And it's got some grunt. It's got some good power. Kind of surprising. Wow. Color me impressed. This thing runs freaking awesome. Wow. 4-valve definitely makes a difference in power instead of being like a 2-valve. Bring that idle down some more. Yeah, that's surprisingly good. Well, tubers, I'm going to end it there. I'm getting pretty frustrated with my phone. I was in the middle of my last video and it ended while I was getting this thing started and running for the first time. It's really time for me to figure something out. Either try my other camera that might last a little longer or get something new, but it's running. I'm pretty happy about that. It's time for me to get to work. That was the radiator's getting warm, and it does have coolant flow, it feels. Yep, it does have coolant flow. This is getting nice and hot. So next thing to do is start testing the electrics, test the coolant fan, make sure it's kicking on and working. But heck yeah, 140 bucks. I think it's time to start looking for some tires and maybe a seat. I'm going to end it there, guys. Stay tuned. See what else we can do with this thing.